Yo, peace is not the absence of trouble, but it is the calm and the strength of God right there in the middle of it. Earlier this week, I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with a young man about a situation, right? So there was something that he was facing in his particular family household. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what he was talking about, but what's most important is that he was just expressing to me about one, the seriousness of the issue, and it was serious. But he was telling me how he was so worried about the situation. And here's the thing, the situation hadn't happened yet, but he was already in the mode and in the flow of being worried and staying up all night, thinking about how to fix this thing and what they can do and, things of that sort. Try to come up with a solution to a problem that hadn't even come up yet. Like the problem may have presented itself that it may be a problem in the future. It's not a problem right now, but let me go ahead and get you worrying about the situation. And so I was listening to him, and of course, again, the situation could be very serious once or if it does happen. It is a serious thing, and I didn't desire to make light of that in itself. Like, it is a fact, it is pretty serious. But I was trying to convince him to not worry about it, and to him being responsible or accountable for the situation equated to worrying about it. And how many of us feel the same way? Like, if you're not worried about a situation, or worried about a child, or worried about a parent, if you weren't worried about your job, or if you weren't worried about something, then it seems as if you didn't have any responsibility concerning those particular things. And it may sound funny now, but when you think about it, like, society kind of teaches us to worry about things. And check out what Matthew chapter 6 says. I'm going to read Matthew 6, verse 25, and I'm going to read it from the Amplified, not the Amplified Classic, because if you guys aren't aware, there's an Amplified Classic, which has been universally discontinued. But there is a way for you to get it another way. If you would like to know how to get the Amplified Classic, let me know in the comments. I'll tell you where you can get it from. But there's the Amplified Classic, which we may have been used to back in the day, but now there is just a regular Amplified Bible. And it reads differently, but for this particular sake, for the topic of worry, let me go ahead and look at it, and I'm going to read one of these verses for you. I'm just going to do one at this particular moment. But Matthew 6:25, it says, "Therefore I tell you, stop being worried or anxious, perpetually uneasy or distracted about your life, ... meaning there's other stuff to come after it. The most important thing, therefore I tell you," and this is Jesus telling these guys, I'm telling you, stop being worried. How do you tell somebody that's been worrying their entire life, stop? You just tell them stop. And it's not always easy to stop doing something that you've been doing for your entire life. Like, it's a disruptor to the flow of how you've been operating. But let's just look at it. Jesus said, stop. He says, therefore I tell you, listen, I am telling you, stop being worried or anxious. Worried and anxiousness, they go hand in hand. They go together. You don't get anxious without being worried. You don't be worried and anxious not be somewhere around as well. It says stop being worried, stop worrying, and stop being anxious. And listen to what's in parentheses. It says perpetually. Perpetually is a continually. It's an ongoing thing. So most times if you find somebody that's used to worrying, it's not because they've done it only one time. Like, it is, they're always worrying. Anybody know anybody in your family? If you don't know anybody, it's probably you. But listen, if you don't know, do you know anyone that is always worrying? Like, you don't desire to tell them even the smallest thing, because you know they're going to make, what do they call it? A mountain out of a molehill. You know they're going to take it and they're going to run with it, and they're going to be just anxious and just worried about something that's not even that big. Like, it could be the smallest thing. Like, we ran out of toilet tissue and they just go on to what are we going to do? And, oh, okay. Yeah, like the folk some years ago, buying up all the toilet tissue. I'm not saying that you need to get the toilet tissue. You desire to stock up, but come on. That there was a level of worry and anxiousness that came along with everything that was happening at the time. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do what needs to be done. I'm telling you that you can do it without the worry, without the weight of worry or the care of worry. Worry doesn't just come up as if it's just some cute little thing. Worrying is a weight, it's a burden. It is like something heavy that sits on you, and you can be, your whole body, your whole system can shut down when you're worried so much, or when you're always in that flow of worry, and then there's stress and there's worry and there's anxiety. And then, have people have breakdowns. And it's not because life can't be challenging at times. Yes, it certainly can be challenging. But we were given a charge to not worry. And what that means is, one, we shouldn't do it. And I'm going to say something, and it may seem a little bit harsh, but if God told you don't do this and you do it, it's a sin. Sin is not always just some sexual thing, or just some, or you curse somebody and you sin. Sin is just missing the mark. And missing the mark is just, hey, God told you to do this and you didn't do it. It's simple, but I hope you don't put it so simple to where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. Now, it matters. If he said don't worry, then we need to be more aware of where we are in that particular playing field. Like, are we worrying? Ask yourself, like, have I been worrying about this situation? And I'll tell you about me. So there's this one time recently, hello, preaching to the choir here. One time recently, I couldn't get in contact with my 17-year-old. So I'm calling her phone and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm not getting any answer. I call the cell phone. I call the house phone. I'm calling the brother, the sister, the daddy. I'm calling every like, where is this? Where is she? What's going on? And you know what happened? She went to sleep. She was asleep. Nobody else was at home. Nobody was answering the phone. But I called it maybe 10 times back to back to back on all these different numbers. And I didn't have a reason for action. I was just calling to see, hey, how's your day going? Just to check up on what's going on. It was something so small. It wasn't even a reason for a big reason for me to reach out to her, to get in contact with her. I was just calling. But the fact that she didn't answer the first, the second, the third time, now, hey. And that was on me. And I recognized after my 20th time calling her that with no answer, I was like, oh, you crossed over, young lady. You crossed over from concern to worry. And we can label something as if I'm just being concerned, but you have crossed over that line and you've gotten into worry, to where you start panicking and you start doing things that are out of character just because there is a lack of peace. So we've been talking about peace for the last couple of weeks. I think it's been about 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks. But we've been talking about peace. And not only do you have access to peace, I desire you to see some of the enemies when it comes to peace as well. So the arch nemesis, or the anti-peace equation is worry. One of the things is worry, stress, anxiety. I'm going to ask you to read Matthew chapter 6, not just the 25th verse, but actually go all the way to verse 34. That's not a lot. I know you can do it. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. But the amount of times that Jesus actually says, hey, don't worry. Don't worry. And sometimes we read over these particular verses and we become familiar with them, but they don't become revelation to us for our everyday life. It's not just about Sunday. I'm talking about everyday life. You wake up on Sunday and you feel good because, hey, it's a Sabbath or a Saturday. Whenever you go to church, hey, you feel good. You know what the day is. But what about the other days of the week when you still have life to do? Like the command or the task to not worry doesn't disappear because it's not your Sabbath. So it's something that we should be doing on a regular basis. But I'm just going to go over a couple of these. Verse 27, and still in the Amplified, it says, and who of you by worrying can add 1 hour to the length of his life? The traditional King James says, add 1 cubit to his stature, meaning worrying is not going to benefit you at all. It doesn't add one benefit to your life, period. It doesn't help. It doesn't add anything. Why do it? Right? Verse 28. And why are you worried about clothes? So you know what chapter I'm talking about. Skip down to verse 31. Still in the Amplified. Therefore, do not worry or be anxious. He said it again in the very same chapter, just a few verses down from each other. Therefore, do not worry or be anxious. All right. Verse 32, Amplified, but do not worry. Verse 33, but first and most importantly, aim at, strive after his kingdom and his righteousness, his way of doing and being right, the attitude and the character of God, and all of these things will be added or given unto you. Verse 34, he says it again. So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself, or tomorrow has worries of itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry is you getting in a tizzy about something that hasn't even happened yet. So here you have something that you could be doing today. It's a distraction. Worry is a distraction. It's a distraction from what you could be doing at this particular moment, and you get caught up in this whole loop, and what you should be doing, you're not doing because you're worried about doing something about something that hadn't even happened yet. It sounds funny. It definitely sounds funny, but it's something that happens. And so I just desire to implore you I just desire to encourage you to think about what's going on with you on a regular basis. Are you in worry? Are you anxious about something? And actually just check it. I'm not even telling you got to make the course. You should make the course correction, but I'm not telling you got to turn around. You got to get it 100% correct right now. Like if you've been on this particular flow, if you've been flowing like this for your entire life, and the train has been going this way, you got to stop the train before it turns around. And sometimes trains don't just stop on the dime. If it stops on the dime, you could end up like damaging parts or whatever. Just be mindful so you can start slowing down. You're worrying and you catch yourself. It's like, no, I don't need to do that. And it happens again and you catch yourself. No, I don't. Eventually you come to a stop, and then when the worrisome thought comes, before you get on that worry train, it's in a park position, and then you can say, no, we're not going that direction. We're going to go to peace direction. And you can get the train flowing in the right direction. That way, when something does come up, it's like, nah, we're not doing that today. Not today, Satan. Yeah. So I just would like to encourage you, that there's change that could be made. Think about what's going on with you, and just be intentional about making some corrections and adjustments as necessary. And if that means, hey, this thing happened 1, 2, 3, I'm worried about the same thing every day of the week. Like, okay, well, catch yourself and stop it. Stop yourself in your own tracks, and make some adjustments, make some moves. Let me make sure I have everything that I desire to say to you guys. Yes. So, couple of things. So realize that if God told you not to worry, that you shouldn't worry, because worry is a sin. Right. But 2, also realize that God loves you so much. He loves you too much to tell you to not do something and not give you the ability or the grace to not do that thing. Right. So there's grace, and there's the anointing, and there's the ability for you to not worry. It's there. And at the same time, point number 3, you still have work to do in making sure that you access that grace and you put it to work for you. It's like somebody saying, hey, I'm giving you all of the ingredients that you need to make this cake. You still got to make the cake. You got everything that you need. Go ahead and do what you need to do. Right? You still got to pay attention to your thought life. You still got to stop listening to the news all the time. Get off the news, because some of y'all be worried because y'all be watching the news so much and something happened and you are already on 10. Yeah, stop doing it. Stop doing it. If you know you're in a certain area and you're watching crime videos, just it gets your system all excited. Stop watching it. I used to watch CSI, and this is years ago. I used to watch all of the CSI videos, and at the time we were living in this trailer in the middle. It's like a half an acre or something. This trailer in the middle of the country, and I would watch them. And at the time, yeah, I would if I would hear something, a little knock on the door, or just any little thing that sounded suspicious, I would be on 10 again. I had to stop watching the videos because it was doing something to me. You start being skittish and all afraid, and we open the door for worry because we're not aware of because we've had the door open. We had the door open the whole time, so when something shows up, it's easy for fear to be like, yo, or worry to be like, yo, come follow me. You be like, hey, the door's open, come on in, let's go, let's do this, And you and worry be like, hey, I know worry knows me, let's go. You don't have to go with worry just because worry comes and say, hey, come with me. Not today, buddy. Now, we're going to have to cut this out. I'm going to have to wean you off of my presence because you don't belong in my presence. So, yeah, again, Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 through 34. Read it. Tell me what you get out of it. Tell me what speaks to you in the comments. And until next time, remember that there's grace for this thing that we call life. This is so out of order. But dominate breath and also be encouraged. I said it backwards. Be encouraged, dominate breath, and remember that there's grace for this thing that we call life. Until next time, peace.